today's section right now is a live section with Hasmig Daniel. She is an NLP and leadership coach. So something's happened. I just needed to like bring her up here and let me invite her. And thank you so much for joining me. And I've got Coach Hasmig Daniel. She is a leadership coach and NLP too. Camilla is saying hi. Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
So we'll just go right to the point because we've got we've we've used like 16 minutes already. Let's just go right to the point. I understand that it should be past 11 your way right now.
Yes,
So
no
I
worries,
don't
my dear, no worries.
Yeah, okay. So let's meet Hasmig. Tell us who Hasmig is.
So first, thank you so much. To be among you. Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing so well and you had a good day. So, as you were telling, my expertise is in the NLP and leadership coaching and training. And I'm so passionate about NLP because it is an important, let's say, tool to have it in our lives, whether in our personal or in our professional life. So, during the talk now, we can elaborate more about it.
All right. So everyone is curious to know what NLP is. That's for my audience who do not know what NLP is. So what is NLP?
Yes. Okay, NLP, first of all, it's the acronym of Neuro-Linguistic Programming.
Okay.
If I'm going to just explain it in a very simple way. So neurons, it's all about the neurons in our head, where it is directly related to our senses. I mean, the way we perceive information, like by seeing things, by smelling, by tasting, by touching, by hearing. And linguistic is about the language. Of course, we do not mean by English, French, Arabic, Spanish. It's about the words we use, how impact they have on our brain and automatically on our emotions and behavior. And programming is about how our brain was programmed the minute we were born by our parents, society, culture, teachers, mentors, etc. So it's important to understand how we can reprogram our brain. So this is what Richard Bandler and John Grinder did in 1970s when they got the main idea from Milton Erickson, who is the father of psychology, psychotherapy, hypnosis, and Korzybski, who was the father of linguistic. So they got the ideas from them, and they were curious to know more. Why so many people, they have the same educational level, they have the same, let's say, background, but they aren't all successful at the same level. So there was definitely something different between them. So this is why they started looking for the reason behind this. And Richard Bandler was a computer scientist and a mathematician. So he was curious, how come the human being can program the computer? So definitely he can reprogram the brain. And this is how NLP started in 1970s.
Well, that's interesting. How we can reprogram the brain. That's really interesting.
That's beautiful, actually.
Well, that's a very interesting concept. So, but how does it help us like in our personal and professional life? Because obviously you're a coach and you teach people how to like program themselves.
Yes.
So how does it help us in our personal and professional life?
Yeah. Let me categorize. As I said, we have the neurons part. Let me brief you more how we can get the best out of it in our personal and professional life. First of all, when we are communicating with each other, each one of us, we have a certain way to understand things. And of course, we are all different, right? For example, if all of us, we are invited, let's say, to a birthday party. So we all go, each one of us, we live the same experience. Yet, each one of us, we will leave this party with a different perspective. Let's say, for example, I say, wow, the music was amazing. Someone else will say it was annoying. Someone else will say, oh my God, I have headache. I will say, oh, come on, guys, it was fun. So each one of us, we perceive the event in a completely different way. Why? Because I have a leading representational system. It means for me, maybe what I see is important. For someone else, maybe what they hear is important. For others, let's say the taste of the food was important. So that's why automatically each one of us, we speak a different language. So imagine if we are communicating with each other, we are not talking the same language. I mean, if I am a visual person, I need to see things. Maybe you need to feel things more. So once we learn NLP, we understand that in order not only to communicate with each other, to connect, we need to talk the same language. I need to be, let's say, someone like you, which you focus maybe more on feelings and not, let's say, visual things. Or maybe someone else will be focusing more on what they hear and not what they see. So through NLP, we will learn lots of tools to understand, first of all, what is my leading sense and what is your leading sense, so that I can start talking your language in order to connect with you. So this is, of course, whether with our children, whether with our family, with our partners, it's very important because we will avoid conflict. And of course, at the same level in professional life, because imagine if you are communicating with your colleagues, with your managers, with your team members, with your clients, whoever they are, imagine if you understand what is the language of the person you are communicating with, so automatically the connection will be stronger. So, you know, it is something very important to understand. And of course, we do learn the tools. Now, when we come and say about the programming part, how can I help someone to reprogram the brain? First of all, we need to understand how it was programmed before working on the reprogramming. How was it programmed? What are my beliefs that were given to me? What is my belief system? What are my values that were given to me? Am I okay with my values? Am I okay with my belief system? What are my needs in life? You know, there are so many factors. What kind of attitude I have? Am I someone I have a positive attitude? Am I someone I am aggressive? Am I someone my attitude is always negative? All of these, they are installed in our subconscious mind. So first of all, we need to understand how my brain was programmed, and then I can start working on reprogramming. Whatever I want to change, I can change it only by understanding why is this happening with me? Why am I behaving like this? Why am I shouting? Why am I yelling? Why am I crying? Why? So we have like all the answers, and of course we can do the change.
Wow. Guys, that's really amazing. Like it's really going to be beneficial to be able to understand the reasons behind our behavior.
Absolutely. Wow. Imagine also, you know, I mean, we have kids. I mean, if someone watching us now or later, let's say they don't have kids, but there are kids around, right? So we can see how the way we are communicating with our kids, this will have a huge impact on their future, on their personality, on their character. Because if I am putting some limitations on my child's, let's say, thinking mode, you cannot do this, you're not allowed to do this, you are too young to do this, you know, all of those are like, I'm putting limitations in his mind. I'm not saying that we need to allow our kids to do everything, of course not. I'm a mother and I know how sometimes we get worried, you know. It's all about how am I going to pass the information. For example, like, you know what, if you do this, this will happen. What do you think? Shall we do it later on? This is the conversation. It is a healthy conversation, and I will not be putting any limiting belief in my child's subconscious mind, because he will grow up with that belief, and that will have a huge impact on him. You know, I can give a very simple example. Let's say if your child came back home from school, and let's say you have a daughter or a son.
Daughters, I have daughters.
Daughter. She came and she told you, let's say, Mom, I got, let's say, over 100, I got 50. So if you tell her, oh, you will will never become a successful person, you failed, you don't need to fail the next time. You know, if the way you are communicating with your child is talking about failure, then you are creating a belief in her mind. Whereas if you stop and go for the root cause, what was the reason behind she to get 50? Was it like she didn't understand? Was it she was afraid in the class? Was it that she didn't study? You know, there are lots of factors, right? So let's go for the root cause instead of installing a belief in her head that she failed, that you cannot succeed. Because trust me, even if they are 5 years old, even if they are so young, we think that they are too young to understand. No, they are not. Or whatever I'm saying is installed in my child's brain. So it starts from there. So that's why it's very important the way we communicate with our children. Because whenever I meet people, trust me, even if they are very successful people, matured, like in their 40s, 50s, they run businesses. But so many times, including myself, including you, all of us, we still have those beliefs that are installed in our subconscious mind from our parents. Of course, let me clarify. Our parents are amazing people. It was not their intention to, let's say, to cause any harm on us. No, but this is the way they used to talk. This is the way they learned to talk. You know, so, and this is from a generation to generation. It is something continuous. Until now, we need to understand how to communicate. So if you meet someone, let's say in your team or as a colleague, someone you're working with, from the way they communicate, you can understand what are the limiting beliefs of this person, or you can understand what is the attitude of this person. How was this person's brain was programmed, and that's why she or he is communicating in this way. I mean, our mind is beautiful, and it's so beautiful to discover how I'm thinking, how you're thinking, and how we can change that, you know, because change starts from self, I believe.
Yes, that's really true. So obviously it's very important to learn NLP, that's to understand ourselves, obviously. But for people who may not really get to understand, like grasp everything you're saying, can you tell them like the benefits of going through this course with you, or the course itself?
In general, maybe they can, not necessarily, maybe they can just learn about it or read a book or whatever, or if they want to dig deeper, or they are professionals, no, they want to learn more about it, whatever. But I will tell you what is the benefit. First of all, in NLP, we learn how to connect with each other, you know, because communication, you know, you are in the field, and you know, the more we communicate, the better, right? And the more you learn about communication, still there is lots of things to learn about communication. I mean, I am in the field like 14 years in the coaching field. I've been 15 years a manager for an international company, and I am still learning about communication, because communication is a non-stop learning journey. Every day we are communicating. The beauty of NLP, when we learn, you know, we communicate with each other, sometimes verbally by using words like you and me are doing now. But you know, you're not talking right now. You're just like nodding with your head. This is the non-verbal communication. So I can see from your face, or let's say if anyone you are talking with that is not talking, this is also communication. And in communication, the words have impact only 7%. 38% goes for our tonality, and 55% goes for our body language. So imagine how important it is me to behave in a certain way so that my body language will be comfortable when I am communicating with you, because you are watching me, you are watching my senses, you are watching the way I'm talking. Even if, for example, you tell me, "Hi, Hasmig, how are you today?" Maybe I'm so tired, I have pain, you know. I will tell you I'm fine. You tell me, "No, you're not. Something wrong with you." How do you know? Because of my gestures. So gestures are very important. Even my tonality, the way I'm talking, I might be aggressive, I might be calm, I might be with sense of humor, I might be so smooth, I might be very angry, you know. This is the how part, it's the tonality. So we learn in NLP the benefits of it. First of all, we will control our body language, not by forcing ourselves, but by fixing our thoughts. Because everything starts with an idea, with a thought. My thoughts shape my life. If we memorize this sentence, my thoughts shape my life. The way I'm thinking will lead me to feel and to behave. Okay? If I change the pattern, the way I'm thinking, then automatically I will start feeling different and I will start behaving differently. And of course, my life will change. So that's why we say that NLP is the science of excellence. It is the art of change, because we can change things by shaping our thoughts. So then it enhances communication. It enhances our self-talk. You know, the most person we talk with during the day is ourselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you talk with yourself a lot? I do.
I do.
And everyone does. You know, whenever you are alone, you're thinking. Before sleeping, you're talking with yourself. Even if you are working, you're still talking with yourself. The self-talk is very important to keep it healthy, because it might destroy us if we are talking like in a negative way with ourselves. Oh, Hasmig, you don't know, you're not good enough, nobody loves you, you don't know how to do this, you cannot succeed, you're fat, you're thin, you're tall, you're short. You know, all those labels. We've got used to hear them by time. So this self-talk will ruin us. And I can have a very empowering self-talk, not imaginary. I am not from people that says be positive all the time, you know, because we cannot be positive all the time. In life, we have so many challenges. Sometimes we lose people. Sometimes we get sicknesses that we cannot deal with them. Sometimes people are unemployed. We cannot come and tell them, oh, guys, be positive. This is toxic positivity. The most important thing is to be realistic, to deal with our challenges with an open mind, knowing that there is a solution for every challenge. I can, King Solomon's story, when the wisdom guy gave him the ring and told him, you do not read what is written on this ring until you are in front of a very, very, very big challenge. And King Solomon, he didn't read it until someday he was really in trouble. He was losing in the war. He decided to get a ring and read what was written by that wisdom man. It was written, this shall pass too. So, so every challenge, we can overcome it. Yet we need to understand why this challenge took place. Do I have control over this challenge, or it is something external? Maybe it is related to the government. Maybe it is related to politics. Maybe it is related to an earthquake. I don't know. Or no, it is something related to me, and I can face it and embrace it and change it. You see? Yeah. So it's very important to handle the situation, and based on that, we can move on. So that's why I say it's very important to keep being realistic, to look at my challenge, understand it, and see what do I need to do to move on. Here, I come and say, please let your self-talk be positive. Let your self-talk with yourself be kind. Sometimes we are kind with everyone except ourselves. We are kind with people, we are kind with our kids, with our family, but when it comes to ourselves, we are so harsh on ourselves. We need to be also kind with ourselves, because I mean, everyone deserves to live that kindness.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Whew. Exactly. Love it. Let your self-talk be positive. Yeah, that's true. So then how can we change our lives with NLP? I want to, yeah. How can we change our lives with NLP?
Okay. First of all, we need to be very, very transparent with ourselves, very vulnerable. Each one of us, we have weaknesses, right? And we have strengths. Myself, at this, let's say, stage in my life, still, I do work on my weaknesses. There is no one on earth, let him raise his or her hand and says that, oh, I don't have any weaknesses. That is not true. It's very important to discover my strengths, to understand my weaknesses and embrace them. So NLP, first of all, helps me to understand myself. How am I thinking? What are my goals? What do I want in this life? How can I communicate with people in a healthy way? How can I communicate with myself in a healthy way? And the most important thing, which I adore in NLP, is the language part. It's the words I use, how powerful they are on my thoughts. Because, you know, if I keep telling myself, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, you know, so I will even start to believe that I'm fat, I cannot do this, I cannot run, I cannot exercise, I cannot wear this, because I believed in the word I'm using. You know, in Japan, for example, they don't have the word luck. Imagine, so they don't know what is luck. So the word does not exist. So their mentality is not based on luck. So imagine if we remove from our dictionary words like, for example, I can't, or words like problem, words like, let's say, luck, or any other word. Automatically, you will start thinking in a different way. So the words I use have a huge impact on my thoughts, a huge impact on my behavior. So we learn in NLP which words to use, which words to avoid, and understand what is the pattern I'm stuck in. I keep thinking in the same way. So to summarize it and conclude that NLP helps me understand myself, NLP helps me understand people around me, NLP helps me understand people I'm going to communicate with in my, let's say, professional life. Any new client I'm going to meet, I will understand how do I need to communicate with this person to become better negotiator, to persuade, to understand the need of my client. And I will say it in a very loud and clear way. NLP is not to manipulate people. NLP is to help you understand yourself and understand the person you are communicating with in a better way. Because after all, I believe, and I always say it in all my talks, in all my trainings, in all my sessions, we are all communicating with each other. The most important thing is to connect. The moment we connect, we respect each other, we build the trust, because, you know, trust is very important in building relationships. So NLP helps me to build that trust because I know exactly what do you want and I know exactly how to give it to you. So NLP helps salespeople, NLP helps coaches, NLP helps managers, leaders, whether they are in the financial sector, human resources, accounting, marketing, whatever, politics, athletes, of course, athletes. You know, there are lots of tools that help us in NLP to become more confident, and athletes, they need that. It helps psychologists, it helps social workers, teachers, any person who is communicating, even parents, because we want to build a good connection with our children.
Wow, thank you. So I have one question here. I'll just quickly take the question. Camila Walker, she says, what tips or advice do you have for people who have communication issues? What steps should they take?
Yes. All right. First of all, Camila, it's very important. Thanks for the question. It's very important first to understand the reason behind the communication issue. Is it fear? Is it low self-confidence? Is it having the thought that people, they might have fun of him or her? So the most important thing, we to go to the root cause. Usually in life, whenever we are facing a challenge, we focus on the problem. You know, people, they say you are problem-oriented or you are solution-oriented. Before talking about the problem or the solution, let's figure out what is the root cause. What made this problem take place? So let me solve it. Let me get rid of it so that this problem will not happen again. You see? So once I go to the root cause, I will ask the person, what is the reason that, let's say, you are not able to communicate well? And let me tell you a very important hint. In NLP, we never ask why you have communication issues. What's the reason? Because when I say why you have communication issues, then I'm confirming that you have communication issues, and I want to know why. We avoid asking why. We need to know, okay, what happened? How do you know that you have communication issues? And the person will start telling us, because when, for example, I am sitting in a certain society, I feel shy. Okay, then it's about shyness. Then it's about low self-confidence, low self-esteem. Maybe because when he was a kid, someday he said something and they laughed at him. We don't know. So through NLP, we can figure out what is the main reason that letting this person believe that he or she has the communication issue. And let me tell you, I want to ask Camila as well if it is related to him or someone else. And of course, everyone is listening to me. The moment you believe that you have a communication issue, will you communicate well?
No, because that's already a limiting belief for you. You would definitely not communicate well.
Absolutely. So we need to break that wall. We need to break that belief. And with NLP, we can break those false beliefs, because maybe, yes, I really don't have the ability to communicate with when I'm with people, but it's not that I was born like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a disability. It was something installed in my head because of a certain experience happened with me. I believe that I cannot communicate. I have communication issues. So every time I am in this situation, I do believe I have communication issues. Definitely, I will not communicate in a good way, in a healthy way. So those beliefs, they really break us, my dear. So that's why it's very important to be so aware, so conscious, to understand what are my beliefs that are letting me down. How can I break them? What kind of other empowering beliefs I should have in order, to move on? And if I'm going to give like a very small example about our brain, the ship Titanic, the boat, early 1915, 1914, I guess, when during its journey, it hit the iceberg and it sank, right?
Yeah.
Now, the size of the iceberg, 5% of the iceberg was above the ocean. The 95% was below the ocean of the iceberg. Okay? Now, what made the Titanic sink? Was it the part above the ocean or below the ocean, you think? Let me see if anyone will answer.
Guys.
It was the part below because it was huge. Imagine
Yes.
if the below part didn't exist, it was just only that small section. So our brain is just like the iceberg. We have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has control over us like 90 to 95%. So it's very important to understand our subconscious mind because it is controlling me. So I need to develop the self-awareness. Yes, Adrian mentioned that it's the below part. True. Yes.
Wow. Guys, you have any other question? One question, please, so I can allow her go. She's got her own appointment.
It's okay.
I don't want
If
this
you have any
session to end.
questions, let me know.
Any other question, guys? Well, this has been a very beautiful section. Like, we don't want it to end right now.
Yeah.
Exactly, Camila. Great information. So informative. Very,
Yeah.
very. Thank you so much.
I'm just reading the comments quickly. So thank you, Camila. Nice to meet you too. Thanks for asking the question. I love people asking me questions, by the way. And Shamima is saying some people do cheat. It's very sad who I believe that. Okay. Communication is the best, absolutely. And of course, yes, we do talk a lot with ourselves. Thanks for the comments, everyone.
Yes, so Camila is asking how long you've been in this field.
13. 1-3.
13 years.
13, yes.
Okay.
From 2011.
Okay. Wow, I don't know, guys. Hello, Raquel. Thank you so much for joining. I need to allow her go because it's supposed to be like a 45-minute section with her, but because of the technical glitches and all of that, but I definitely will bring her back, guys. Yes. So I'm so grateful for having you here today, Hasmig. We
Same
hope to
here,
have
my dear.
yeah, we hope to have you back here.
Sure,
We
anytime.
hope to have you back here some other time. Then we'll probably will have a longer time to discuss and get to understand how we can reprogram our thoughts. Like that's a really deep one. Did you enjoy
Yes, yes.
being able to talk? Sorry, Adrian, did you enjoy being able to speak on this live? And would you want your own slot soon?
He's
Okay.
making a business deal now with me. Good for you. He's a good sales, you see?
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I will catch the replay. Yes, Raquel, it's a very interesting discussion that we've had.
Yes.
It's very
Thank you so
interesting.
much. It was really my pleasure being among you. And I also want in person, though I apologized on the group, but we had electricity issue, and in my country, our electricity is on the generators. But we made it today. I mean, I maybe going live was, I guess, better. We had questions from the audience, and definitely we can go live again. I will, of course, coordinate with you. And thank you so much. Nice to meet all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, for joining the section. Thank you, guys, everyone, for joining. It was a very short one, but full of information that is really helpful to all of us. So thank you so much, Hasmig. Thank you to the star sender of today, Vigil. I so appreciate. Thank you again for sending me that. I so appreciate, guys. So thank you and see you some other time.
Have a
Bye,
good
everyone. Thank
night.
you.
Take
Have a
care.
blessed
Bye
time.
bye.
Yeah, bye. Bye.